Okay, so hey guys, so today's video is going to be something very different from my channel. I've never filmed anything like this before. I'm going to be filming for you guys my very first anti-haul. Um, Before I thought that this was kind of a dumb video to uh, post honestly and film on because you guys know I always give you honest reviews and I never really waste my time spending my money on things that I don't think that are worth it. Okay, sorry, I forgot to grab something else, but um, I am going to be covering certain brands first and a specific item, and then I'm also going to be just covering one item from other brands. So I'm just going to concentrate on brands that I'm not going to be purchasing from anymore or brands that I'm on the fence about. It's not going to be like a lot of brands that I'm on the fence about, but I am going to be covering a lot of different products, especially three specific brands that I'm going to be talking about. So the first brand that I'm going to talk to you guys about is the brand Morphe Cosmetics. Morphe Cosmetics, guys. Obviously, you can see that I own one of their 35O palettes, and I also have purchased in the past a couple of their brushes, and I have three brushes here that I'm going to talk about really quickly. I'm just going to touch on these two products really quickly before I move on to the product that I'm not going to be purchasing. But this is the Morphe 35O palette, and this is like their most popular product. This was like the most hyped up eyeshadow palette on the internet last year. There is one shattered eyeshadow in here, so I'm just going to hold it like this because this one somehow completely came apart. I don't know how. But you guys have seen what this looks like before, so I don't really have to cover it. Honestly, you guys, this is actually a really good quality eyeshadow palette, and I used to use it like all the time. I really liked the shades in here, but honestly, I have not touched this in almost a year, I think. And now it's pretty much just been sitting in my makeup collection. I mean, it is a pretty cheap eyeshadow palette. It's only like $25 or like $20 or something. And I bought it when they had first restocked it on the website. But I have found that you can get much better eyeshadows for your money from Makeup Geek or from ColourPop Cosmetics. There's just too many things that go on with Morphe that makes me very hesitant to buy from them anymore or ever again. So that's their eyeshadow palette, and since I know that they are private labeled by Crown Brushes from Stephanie Nicole, I will never purchase any of their eyeshadow palettes ever again. They did finally claim and say that they have that they are private labeled by another company on their website like last year, and that's when they first started saying it. And you know, some people are a little bit happier about that now, but you know, for me, I'm still hesitant to purchase from the brand. I know my blush kind of faded, but I kind of like how it looks because I'm wearing like very bold eyeshadow today. And then these are the brushes that I had gotten from them. This is the Morphe M439. This is the M501. And then this is the M433. And Jaclyn Hill used to constantly rave about this brush right here. And this is the Morphe M433. She said it was like the best foundation brush ever. And honestly, I actually really did kind of like this brush. It's kind of the least roughest brush out there, and honestly, when I pull on this one doesn't really come out easily, and the hairs don't really just like come out. I actually think that this brush was made pretty nicely. It was really like densely packed, and it doesn't feel that rough on your face, but most of these brushes do feel really rough on your face because Stephanie Nicole did say that their brushes are basically made from like the butt of the animal. It's like the excess hair that's left over, then that's what they make their brushes out of, and that's why they're so cheap. That's why I'm never going to purchase them again. And honestly, none of these brushes have touched my face in like a year or so. But you guys know I only use a beauty blender for my foundation anyway. But this brush actually wasn't that bad, but I got it because, you know, she said that this was her all-time favorite foundation brush. I don't think it's anything that special. And then this is the M501, which I think is like their most popular brush for a long time. This is their highlighting brush. And when I tried to use this a couple days ago, and plus this one, look at the hairs on it. It kind of like sticks out a lot. If you can see that on the end, like it does not hold up that well. I feel like this one, the hairs could come out a lot easier. I don't know. I feel like recently probably they've gotten a lot worse, and a lot of people say they shed a lot and the hairs just come out or they fall apart. But none of mine have fallen apart. Like, you know, I don't know. Maybe just because I just keep them upright and just, I don't know how they fall apart on some people, but this was really rough when I used it the last time. I just used it just to grab it so I wouldn't mix product with another brush because the other brush had like product on it that I didn't want to use. And it like was really rough on my skin, and I know that like Manny MUA used to always rave about that. Sorry, I'm very thirsty. I hope it's not wearing off my lipstick every time. This drink is so freaking good, but it does kind of wear off my lipstick a little. Hold on a sec. Where is it? I'm just gonna put it on like super quickly. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's move on. So anyway, so I'm not going to be purchasing from them anymore. And then this is the last brush, which is the M433. And Jaclyn Hill would constantly talk about that this is like her favorite crease brush and blah, blah, blah. And honestly, it's really rough on your eyes. And I just stopped using it after a little while. And plus, it didn't really blend out product all that well. It does have a nice shape to it, but honestly, it wouldn't really do anything. So I stopped using it. And the thing that I wanted to talk about from Morphe Cosmetics is the Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette. And I will insert a clip right here. And the reason why I'm not going to purchase this eyeshadow palette is because I don't need it, first of all. I have purchased way too many eyeshadow palettes the past month. I got the Dose of Colors Baked Browns eyeshadow palette. I got the Naked Heat palette from Urban Decay. I got the Juvia's Place palette, and I got a bunch of Sugar Pill eyeshadows and other brands that I honestly had no interest really in purchasing the Jaclyn Hill palette. I was on the fence about it because she said that the formula was really different and that they're all like brand new shades and they all have names and they all look like just really beautiful together. But honestly, it's too overwhelming to have too many eyeshadow palettes for me because honestly, like I've just gotten through using like all my new eyeshadows like once or twice. Like it is a lot for me. And I'm also very hesitant on purchasing from Morphe ever again because I did declare that I was never going to purchase from them again. But I do still like Jaclyn Hill. I'm just so hesitant to purchase from them. And also there's a lot of controversy about Jaclyn Hill saying that the formula was different. And now people are saying that she corrected herself and that the Morphe website updated their website saying, yeah, this is a different formula, even though before it was the same listing of ingredients that were from their original eyeshadows. Like from these eyeshadow palettes, that it was the same exact listing of ingredients from these eyeshadow palettes when they were saying they were a brand new formula. And people are also saying that from the swatches that she did on her arm on her Snapchat were much different than from other people's swatches of the palette in person. It's kind of similar to like the whole Too Faced Nikkie Tutorials scandal and collaboration is that they just basically took money from Nikkie Tutorials and gave her $100,000 and that was it. And Too Faced just profited off of it. When originally I was going to purchase it, and then I just said, no, I'm not going to get it because I heard too many negative reviews about it. So that's basically what I'm hearing about Jaclyn Hill's palette as well, is that it's not that good quality, and people are annoyed that it's going to be costing them $82 for international shipping when it's only $38 in the US, and people are also annoyed about the price markup for the actual eyeshadow palette because people have to pay a ridiculous international shipping charges like $30, and most of these palettes only cost about $25 or less. And people are annoyed that it costs $38 because they're supposed to be a cheap brand. And what I've been noticing about a lot of online brands now that are cheap, they are making some of their products a little bit more expensive because I feel like since they're more well known now that they feel like that they can demand that type of price. Like for Morphe and Jaclyn Hill's palette, for the ColourPop pressed powder duos, those are expensive. Those are like $18 and I did get one of them and I am using them a lot. But the fact that it's $18, that's expensive for ColourPop, you know? And then for the Makeup Geek highlighters, those were 20 bucks a piece. So it's like Makeup Geek is supposed to be an affordable brand and now they're marking up their price. Not I'm saying that I am still a big supporter of Makeup Geek and ColourPop, but because I've never had any problems with ColourPop, even though a lot of people say that they are a bad company to purchase from. I've never had any personal problems for me and my experience, so I'm going to be continuing purchasing from them because they are a cheap brand that has incredible quality. That I would much rather purchase from ColourPop or Makeup Geek than Morphe. So that's basically all I have to say about Morphe. I will cover Morphe more when I finally film my YouTubers that I don't support anymore video, and YouTubers I'm on the fence about, and YouTubers I like, but there are certain things I don't like about them. So that's it about Morphe. I'm pretty sure that's everything I had to say about them. And also, I probably am going to cover collaborations in that video as well because I am very hesitant on buying certain collaborations. I feel like collaborations has come out left and right now, and it's very hard to keep up or very hard to determine like which ones you're actually going to buy. And I am super interested in the Too Faced Candy Johnson collection, but let's just jump right into Too Faced Cosmetics then, since that is a brand that I am very on the fence about. I'm not going to insert any clips because you guys know I have a crap ton of makeup from Too Faced. They were my all-time favorite brand for a really long time, at least for 2 years now, ever since I started collecting makeup excessively. And now I am very, very hesitant to buy anything from them. I haven't purchased anything from them in about a few months. I can't believe it's been that long since I've actually purchased anything from them. It hasn't been since they came out with their Too Faced Peach Glosses and their Too Faced Papadone Peach Blush. Those were the last things I've ever bought from them, and that was in my Ulta haul in January or February. So it's been like 4 months since I bought anything from Too Faced. Sorry, I just want another sip. This is so good. We went to like this new health food place and we got this shake together, me and my boyfriend. And it is so good. So anyway, the only thing that I'm really interested in trying from Too Faced is the Candy Johnson collection because I really love Candy Johnson. And since you know that what's funny is that like Candy Johnson was originally supposed to collaborate with Kat Von D, and that somehow fell through. And then actually Kat Von D and Jared Blandino from Too Faced collaborated together for the Christmas season, and that's maybe that's why Candy Johnson ended up not collaborating with Kat Von D, maybe because they were working on their collaboration together, and maybe that like kind of affected her doing a collection with Kat Von D. Who knows? But I really do like her, and I think I will. I think I might purchase a couple of things from that collection just because I want to support her. And also, they are also going to be coming out with a whole like new Too Faced peach collection, and I will insert a picture from Trend Mood. It's like a whole new peach collection. I forget what it's actually called, but they're coming out with another line of blushes. Like, since they had the Papadone Peach Blush, now they're expanding the blushes, and there's going to be like 6 different shades. There's going to be a setting powder. There's going to be another eyeshadow palette, and it's like, now I'm just like, enough Too Faced. Like, it's enough with the peach stuff. Like, yes, it was the most high demand eyeshadow palette like last year, and I think it was like one of the #1 sellers for eyeshadow palettes, but that's because they hyped the freaking crap out of this palette. Like, it was so hyped up last summer that it's like, it was different to release in the summertime because everybody was excited to get it because it was like a really pretty summer palette, and everybody was like, oh my god, like it's so pretty for the summertime, I want it. And I got it, and honestly, I love that palette. I use it so much, and I really do actually love that palette. but I actually think since the Sweet Peach palette came out, I think that that was their actual only good quality eyeshadow palette until after that. And now I feel like their eyeshadow quality is just going way downhill after the Sweet Peach palette. I feel like they do not care about their consumers anymore. There are so many negative reviews about their website now, and there was also a ton of negative reviews about their and a negative experiences about their website when they relaunched the palette in during the Christmas time. And they kept on saying, "Oh yeah, people are going to receive their palettes for Christmas," and people were waiting like a month to receive their palettes. And they said if they, purchase them at this time, like when the palette actually launched, you'll get it in time for Christmas, and people were waiting a month. I was like, "Are you serious?" And nobody would answer the phone, nobody would answer emails. And I was just curious, and I went on Too Faced Cosmetics Facebook, and I went on Tarte Cosmetics Facebook, and yes, Tarte is a little bit of a brand that I am hesitant to buy from as well, because I've also heard a lot of stuff about them, but at the same time, it's like, I was reading through the comments of both of the websites. Tarte was making a lot more of an effort to answer people back on their comments than Too Faced was. I barely saw anything on Too Faced website. So, sorry. Jeez, now my best friend is texting me. I'm sorry. Sorry. So yeah, let me pull back up my list because now I don't know where it went. Okay. So what I was saying about the Sweet Peach palette is that after that palette came out, the only palette that I was interested in purchasing since that palette came out, because after that I really wasn't interested in anything that they were coming out with. I don't remember exactly what the releases were after that, but I have not purchased an eyeshadow palette from them since the Sweet Peach palette. And that's a while. That's almost a year since I've gotten the Too Faced actually, no. I purchased the Boudoir Eyes palette, but that's an older palette from them, so it doesn't really count. Yes, that palette is newer to me, but I actually don't really like that palette that much at all. I don't really use it that much. I kind of regret buying it, but it's not about that in this video. So okay guys, so I know again that this is a different day, but I actually wanted to share my thoughts on two other palettes that have recently come to light, and one of them is available now and another one is available in a few months. But I am going to touch on one of the Too Faced palettes that I just recently saw a couple of days ago to stay on the subject of Too Faced, and I'm going to be talking about the Too Faced White Chocolate Bar palette. Now, if you guys follow Trend Mood, or if you guys follow Jared Blandino on Instagram, you guys probably have already seen previews of what this palette is actually going to look like. And for me, and for somebody that is a huge fan of Too Faced chocolate bar palettes and their peach palette, most people are cult classic favorite palettes, or cult classic favorites are the chocolate bar, I'm like chocolate, the chocolate bar palettes, and some people like hate the peach palette if they have the chocolate bar palettes and they love those. For me, I love all of them. I really, really do love them. I do think that the Too Faced peach palette is actually the best pigmentation wise. I mean, some of them are great. I know why my dog is like whining right now. It's driving me nuts. Hold on one second. Okay, so I'll insert a clip right here of what the Too Faced White Chocolate Bar looks like. And from what I see, I feel like they had like a color scheme in mind, and then I feel like since a lot of people have basically made comments saying that Too Faced makes the same crap all the time, basically. Not for me. I love their neutral palettes, and it's like, if you're going to make a neutral palette, and obviously the chocolate bar palettes are a neutral series of palettes for people to create everyday looks with, and they have pops of color in them, and that's why they work. And some people complain that the Too Faced chocolate bar palettes and their other palettes are just way too similar to each other, that they think that there's no diversity, that everything has like a matte brown in it and a bunch of browns in it, and that if you already own one of the palettes, you own all of them. And that's basically what Jeffree Star brought to light. Now, I am agreeing with Jeffree Star in this sense, just he did it in the most unprofessional way. Like, he could have just said, I'm not really a fan of this Too Faced White Chocolate Bar palette. I feel like there's no color story. You know, like something more professional than just commenting on their Instagram and being like, well, you know, I'm sure you own the same exact palette. You're not missing out on this one when he was commenting on the Christmas palette. Which everybody knows that their Christmas palettes are like the same kind of thing, and I already like have declared that I'm never buying a Christmas palette after the one that I bought. I bought it for me because it was a collector's item for me, and I had never owned a Christmas palette from Too Faced before. But I'm feeling like that's why they threw these colors into this white chocolate bar palette, is because this is coming out around the same time of the excuse me, of the holidays. Like, I think it's coming out around December. Like, they announced the Christmas palette and then they announced this around that it's coming out around the same exact time. And I feel like that's why the colors are like that. That's why there's a green in there. But again, it just doesn't work. Like, the colors are, I really want to concentrate on what the color names are in this palette. And I kind of feel like it's similar to the influence of the Candy Johnson collection, because the Candy Johnson collection, they're kind of like heading towards a new like food kind of collection. You know what I mean? Like the peach palette, the chocolate bar palettes. Now they're kind of venturing into banana split kind of things. And her collection is based on more like banana split, which I think is really, really cute. And that works because like the whole collection has like a cohesiveness to it, not cohesive. But this has absolutely zero cohesiveness to it and no color story whatsoever. I feel like the colors could work together, but throwing that mint chocolate shade in there, it's just like, it's random. It's like, I feel like if the green, the purple, and the black weren't in there, I feel like this palette would have worked, and maybe the two grays. I feel like the pinky shades and the brown shades in the palette are really pretty. I would have ran with that and went with more like frosty white kind of shades, or frosty like glittery shades. Maybe they could have thrown a lot more like glittery shades in there, you know, like the Glitter Bomb palette. They could have just continued that. But I just feel like there was no I feel like they just really don't care anymore, to be honest. Like, there's a mint chocolate color, which is a green. Then we have Glaze, which is a really beautiful brow bone highlight. I would use that as a brow bone highlight. They always put the two bigger pans of brow bone highlights as bigger pans in the actual chocolate bar palettes. Then they have Cake Batter, which is a really gorgeous warm brown. Then they have Exotica, which is a really pretty, like, typical everyday lid shade, like a brownish lid shade. And then Chocolate Syrup is a pretty shade for the crease as well, or like the outer corners. And it's a matte medium brown shade. Pearl Candy is like what I was talking about, like what they should have ran with. It's more like colors like that. They could have went with like a frosty pink. They could have went with like a frosty gold. They could have went with a frosty white gold. I thought that would have been really pretty, you know? And then did some more like pinky blushy tones. That's what I would have thought that they would have went with, you know? Like, I feel like if they're going to do mint chocolate in this palette, it should have been a mint chocolate chip palette, you know? I feel like with the other palettes, the color names worked. Like, just for me, the color names are already throwing me off. Like, I know you can combine these things with white chocolate, but more like you combine these things with vanilla ice cream, if you get my drift. And then Raspberry Rose is also a really pretty pink frosty shade, which again, I like. And then Indulge is also a pretty, like taupey, shimmery shade, but then like things just go downhill from there, and they throw in this random lavender cake shade, which is this matte, like, I'm looking at it on my screen, that's why I keep on looking this way, because I have the image right in front of me. It's like a matte purpley lavender, but it's not that lavender. I just think it was a little bit weird, but again, maybe the pigmentation will be great, and maybe people will say positive things about it. As for now, I don't think I'm going to get it, but the more I look at it, the more, like, I kind of like it, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't make sense to me with the black and the green. I just would take all those colors out of there. Maybe I would even leave the lavender in there, and I would just put, like, a pink shade and maybe another crease shade, and I think it would have been perfect, you know? Like a nice brown outer corner shade, and I think it would have been perfect. But like, It's just the fact that they didn't stick with like softer shades for white chocolate bars, what doesn't make sense to me. And then Guilt Free is a matte grayish kind of shade, which again, you could create some nice cooler tone looks with those, and you could smoke it out on the lower lash line with some of these shades. Like the next shade is called Smoked Sea Salt, which is a gray matte medium tone gray shade. And those two could work great with cooler tone looks. Frosted Apricot, it's like, were they trying to throw in another kind of peach shade in there by calling it apricot instead? Like, it is a pretty color, but again, I just don't know why they would call it that. I would call it like frosted, I don't even know. Like, I know they wouldn't want to, like, frosted peach actually would be really cute. It'd be like a little shout out to the peach palette. I think that would have made more sense. Cookie Dough, again, adorable shade name. I think that one was in the Christmas palette last year because I think that's what they based their Christmas palette on. That's why I wanted it so bad last year, but I couldn't afford it last year. But that was like a cookie dough based palette, I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure that shade was in there. Correct me if I'm wrong or not. Which is a pretty, again, pretty medium tone brown crease shade. And then Sugared Raisin, which I don't know why it's called that. It's like a taupey, shimmery, like gray shade, which I don't really understand why it's called that. And then we have Black Sugar, which is a dark black shimmery shade. Don't understand why it's in there. But I guess it's to transition from day to night. And then Banana Date, which makes sense because it's a cute matte light brown shade. But at the same time, I wouldn't be calling it Banana Date because why would you put bananas in white chocolate? Like, I just don't really understand the combos. But yeah, as of now, I wouldn't buy it, but now I'm going to move on to other palettes. But I just wanted to really concentrate on this one because this is their most recent leaked release, and I feel like this palette is either going to make or break people's opinions of Too Faced. Like, maybe people that are still giving them a chance, this might be like the make or break palette, whether they're going to love it or they're going to hate it. Because, again, like, my thoughts on Too Faced have just been going downhill recently. And I have not, like I said, I have not purchased a palette since the Boudoir Eyes. I haven't purchased a Too Faced palette this entire year. Like, none of their palettes have intrigued me except for the Peanut Butter and Honey, but I just decided to skip on that one because I heard so many negative reviews about it. And this one, I would probably have to swatch in store personally in order to make my final decision on it. But for me, it does not scream white chocolate bar to me. The theme just does not make sense to me. They should have put this in a completely different palette, you know, like these colors could have worked in other palettes. Like the names are adorable, the packaging, of course, I love, but the white chocolate chip palette made more sense than this white chocolate bar palette. Like, maybe they didn't want to do the same thing. Maybe the white chocolate chip palette should have been expanded into a bigger palette. And that's what this should have been, that's the color story they should have ran with, and they should have perfected that formula and made it the classic chocolate bar formula that we all love. Like, I just don't understand what they're doing right now. I don't understand their direction that they're going in. But again, maybe they just tried to make it more appealing for the holidays. Alright, you guys, I know that this is a different day, but I accidentally said the wrong name of the Too Faced palette that I was talking about. It's the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Honey palette. When I recorded the clip originally, I just called it the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, but that's the first palette in the collection. So now I will jump into my thoughts on why I'm not going to purchase the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Honey palette, and I will insert a clip right here. But I heard so many negative reviews about that palette that since I already had the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, which I honestly love, I think that's such an amazing palette. It's such good quality, like all the shades are amazing, that since I was hearing such negative reviews about that one, I was like, I don't need it. And also, they're so repetitive about like sucking you in about a certain item in their line that attracts you to the product in the first place, and then they'll just milk it and try to make as much money as they can off of it. Like with the peach palette, now they're expanding the whole line, and now they're saying, oh, get peach this, get peach that, blah, blah, blah. With the Born This Way stuff, it's not as annoying because it's like they're just coming out with like a setting powder now, which I think is actually going to be really pretty. I don't think they really have that many setting powders in their line besides like the pressed ones. I don't think they really have a loose one, so I think that would be really nice. And the Born This Way foundation I love, and I really like the concept of like them saying like, oh, undetectable coverage and stuff, and I think that's a really pretty line. It's like the peach stuff, people are getting really fed up about it because of the whole scandal with the eyeshadow palette. And then the other thing is that since the peanut butter and jelly palette was basing itself off of the peanut butter eyeshadow shade from the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette, and honestly, the Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette is like their least favorite, some people's least favorite Too Faced palette from the Chocolate Bar line, but that's actually one of my favorite ones. I love it. But that's what they base it off of. It's like, oh, you're getting like these 8 new shades, but you're still getting the peanut butter shade. And it's like, how many eyeshadow palettes do I need with the same eyeshadow in it? I'm trying to become a smarter consumer, and I've actually purchased a bunch of stuff from online brands recently, and I haven't really been purchasing from the bigger brands now. I got so much new stuff from online makeup brands. So yeah, I just think that since they got purchased from Estee Lauder, that they really don't care about their customers anymore, and they care more what's about going into their pockets. So if they like kind of change like what's going on their website and what's going on their Instagram or anything like that, I might purchase the Candy Johnson stuff when it comes out. But I don't have to worry about that until September. But honestly, I've been on a no-buy from Too Faced for like 4 or 5 months. So that's a pretty good amount of time for me to be on the fence about them. And I'm talking about the Too Faced Glitter Bomb palette, and I'll insert a picture right here. And again, it's the same thing. It's just like, I know that these brands do try to keep their products current, and that it's the fact that Kat Von D and Too Faced are both coming out with all glitter palettes, which I think is a little bit funny because it's like, you know, they did collaborate together and then they're kind of coming out with like the same type of products at some point. But again, I do find that Kat Von D's products are a little bit more intriguing to me than Too Faced products because, again, of all the controversy that is surrounding Too Faced. Like, you don't really hear that much controversy surrounding Kat Von D because I feel like people purchase Kat Von D products more on Sephora than on the website. I don't really hear anything about her website ever. Like, please let me know if you've ever had any bad experiences on Kat Von D's website. But I know that there's so much negative feedback about Too Faced that it's like, again, I'm hesitant to buy this product because of that. And also because it's just something that doesn't really interest me. It's like, I would rather see like these brands like Kat Von D and Too Faced come out with like pigments, like glitter pigments. I think those would be amazing. Like Too Faced does not have a full line of glitter pigments, and neither does Kat Von D. And I just feel like Kat Von D could really do. I know she has pressed pigments, which are the Metal Crush ones, which are freaking amazing. I love those. I have like 5 of them, and I freaking love them. But I just think that would be more interesting. Like, why don't more of these brands come out with pigments? Like, all they concentrate on is eyeshadow palettes. And it's like, again, with eyeshadow palettes, you're very like, you're not limited to the looks that you're doing because, you know, the eyeshadow palettes like help you create looks if you're not certain on how to create a look on your own. But I just feel like it's too much, and it's like, it's not anything really interesting to me because it's like, how many times can you do glitter? Like, I'd rather see you come out with like a really beautiful, vibrant, like pressed matte colors, you know? I think that would be really beautiful. So it's just something that I really don't need. So, and again, since I'm so hesitant to purchase from them, I'm not going to get it. I don't need it at all. Again, I have so many freaking eyeshadow palettes now that it's like, I'm going to be very, very strict and hesitant on which eyeshadow palettes I'm going to pick up because right now I don't need any. I have enough. So that's it about Too Faced. Now let's talk about Kylie Cosmetics, guys. Kylie Cosmetics. Yeah. So, Kylie Cosmetics, I really have no words for Kylie Cosmetics because it's like enough already. There's like so much scandals about Kylie Cosmetics all the time. It's like whenever she launches a new collection, which I'll show you guys the new summer collection right here. there's like always a controversy surrounding her collections, and I'm just like, and her shipping and her products selling out so fast and how their products are so cheaply made and how they always have like a defect about them, that she's always stealing from other brands, from other clothing companies, everything. I'm just like, I am never going to support this brand. Like, this is one brand that I will never buy anything from, and I'm specifically talking about the summer collection as well. So people were saying that the summer collection was a huge rip off of the Jouer Skinny Dip new summer collection. And I did just recently purchase the Skinny Dip eyeshadow palette and the Skinny Dip highlighter. And I was really interested in trying them, even though I was kind of hesitant on purchasing from Jouer because I didn't really love their liquid lipsticks when I bought them because, again, I got sucked in from the hype from big YouTubers like about Morphe when I got the 35O palette and the O for liquid lipsticks, which I actually really like, and the Galactic lipsticks, which I freaking hate. But you know, they hype up these brands to get you to buy them, and then you get interested in them because I'm like, well, it's something different that I've never purchased before, so it's like, yeah, I kind of want to try it. I'm like not trying to get super influenced by what they say all the time now. But I do get super curious on trying them out to see if they're good or bad. Like, that's my mentality. I'm not going to try and let them, like, influence the crap out of me that I have to go out and buy it. Like, I'm not going to go and buy Tom Ford lipstick that they're all talking about just to get it, because honestly, that's way too expensive for me. But if they're talking about something that's affordable, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Why not just try it out, you know? So, for the summer collection, people were saying since one of the highlighters was called Skinny Dip, people were getting really upset that the highlighter was called Skinny Dip because Jouer has a highlighter called Skinny Dip, and they have a bunch of things that relate to that shade name from one of their lip toppers because that one was called Skinny Dip, and since that one was so successful, they expanded the line and made it a highlighter and made it an eyeshadow palette. And I think that people are being a little bit ridiculous about the Skinny Dip name because it's like Jouer doesn't own that name. It's not copyrighted. But at the same time, since people are always saying that she's copying other brands, that I do understand that some people are getting annoyed about it, but honestly, you shouldn't be wasting your time getting mad about that when you should be more annoyed about the way that Kylie Cosmetics handles things on their website and how expensive their products are. It's like, why would I spend $30 on a lipstick and a lip liner and then pay like, it's like $25 for that, and then it's like $7 for shipping? I'm just like, maybe when they have free shipping, maybe, but it's like, I don't think they ever have free shipping. And the fact that they are private labeled by ColourPop, and that's like the big rumor and the big scandal that goes around constantly, and that basically just Kylie just slaps her name on the products and just sells them for another $20 because ColourPop Cosmetics are only like $6 lipsticks and her lipsticks are $25. It's like, I would rather pay $6 for the same formula from ColourPop rather than buying Kylie Cosmetics marked up crap. And then there was another whole thing about when I was watching Jordan Byers' YouTube. I'll link her YouTube down below. I really, really love her channel. Sometimes yes, she is clickbait. I will definitely say that. But she does a lot of reviews on products that I would never spend my money on. She buys a lot of the counterfeit stuff. She'll buy like the counterfeit Jeffree Star highlighter. She'll get the Jeffree Star lipstick. She'll get the Anastasia knockoff one. She'll get the, what was the other one? She'll get like the knockoff eyeshadow palettes, like the Anastasia Modern Renaissance, I'm pretty sure. And then she got, she purchased some of the Kylie highlighters, but they weren't knockoffs. They were the regular ones. And one of them came empty. Like, she said that the product actually came empty. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. I'm like, I'm never going to purchase anything from them. It's like way too much controversy, and I'm just like, I can't deal with it anymore. And even though they're like coming out with a bunch of stuff with Kim Kardashian, it's like, It's basically because I don't support the Kardashian family at all. I don't like any of them because I think that they're famous for absolutely nothing. And I just can't support that. Like, and plus, I think that Kanye West is such a horrible person now that it's like, why would I want to support Kim Kardashian as well? And I just don't like them at all. I can say I don't like them. I'm never going to say I hate somebody, but I really don't like them. So that's why I'm never going to put my money into them. I'm like, I'm not going to purchase something that's so damn expensive for no reason. Alright, so basically I don't really have to say anything else about Kylie Cosmetics. You basically understand my message. It's just too much controversy for me. I just feel like everything that she does is just like a huge way of just like sucking your money out of your pocket, and that's basically it. So then the next brand I want to talk about is Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I have covered my thoughts on Jeffree Star Cosmetics before. I was very interested in his velour liquid lipsticks, and I do have 4 of them, but I just wanted to show you guys that I do have 4 of his liquid lipsticks. The other one is in this bin right here. Where is it? Let me just grab it really quick. Like literally right next to me. I just want to grab it. I think it's over here. Don't you love how I'm like rummaging through everything? Hold on. Alright, so these are the 4 liquid lipsticks that I have from Jeffree Star. And I was very interested in trying them out because people are like, oh my god, they're amazing, blah, 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 blah. I think that they're the best lipsticks ever. And I tried them and I actually really did like some of them. I did like Androgyny and Doll Parts. Celebrity Skin I'm not too fond of, and I'm Nude is actually not my favorite at all. I really don't like it. And the reason why I really don't need to waste my time saying my thoughts on these, like that's not what this video is about. I have talked about them before. I have reviewed them on my channel a bunch of times. I just can't really stand for what he stands for, and I have refused to purchase anything from him ever again. Not just because I can't stand him, but also because there's nothing that really interests me from his line. I just don't, it's like, I don't know, it's just something that doesn't really interest me. And also I have seen a lot of reviews on his palettes where people don't really like them. And people are really honest and say that the highlighters look chunky, that the lipsticks don't really like apply that well, and also there's just too much controversy that I hear about his brand, about his sanitation, and about his past with Kat Von D, which is honestly disgusting. And the fact that so many brands have, and so many YouTubers have kind of just, you know, distanced themselves from you, like Kat Von D, like completely broke her ties off from Jeffree Star. And, you know, he tried to make a video about that, and I was just like, no, like, I love Kat Von D, and I was like, there's nothing you can convince me otherwise to say to support you anymore. And the same thing with Jackie Aina, that he's been dissing her lately, and that they don't like each other. And then also, Nikki Tutorials broke off her ties with Jeffree Star, and it's just so weird because it's like, there's so many YouTubers that support each other but don't support one certain person. Like, Candy Johnson loves Jackie Aina, but she also loves Jeffree Star, and they were all at like this big, all at these like a couple of events together recently. And it was so weird to watch like some people's Snapchats. Like Jaclyn Hill had her launch party for Morphe, and she was snapping with Jackie Aina, and she was like, oh my god, I love you so much, she's my favorite. And then she snaps like 2 seconds later with Jeffree Star and Manny MUA and Laura Lee, and how they're all like such a tight-knit group. Because Manny MUA, Jeffree Star, and Laura Lee are such a tight group together. They like are inseparable. And then like a minute later she's snapping with Jackie Aina, and it's just like you don't see any of them with her. It's just her and Jaclyn, or it's just her and Candy, but Candy's like, you know, snapping with Jackie Aina, and then she's snapping with Jeffree Star and Manny MUA like 2 seconds later. It's just very bizarre that it's like I find that he's just incredibly cliquey and that he's so on the defensive with other YouTubers, and it's just like it's not classy, and it's like I I know that there's the whole racism thing, but I'm not covering that because it's like it's old news, and at the same time it's like, actually watched his racism apology video, and I actually kind of believed him. I was like, you know what? He might actually finally be fessing up because he has been thinking about this for a while, and he thinks that he owes it to his audience that he can finally apologize and fess up and say that he was finally wrong about something. But what he does is that he built up so much controversy around himself that he just um, will do it on purpose, and then I feel like he'll just like ask for people's sympathy about him after that to just like, still keep his audience. And yes, a lot of YouTubers do that, but it's just like, for me, it's not genuine enough for me to ever really support them again. So for me, I'm never going to purchase from them again. I probably will cover more about Jeffree Star in my YouTubers I don't support anymore. So that's it about him. I just wanted to cover the brand. I don't think his brand is anything that special. I've never been interested in trying any of his eyeshadows, or I was actually right after the whole racism controversy happened. Right before that happened, I was very intrigued on purchasing one of his skin frosts because I was like, oh, these look beautiful. I'm going to try them. But then people were saying that they were super chunky, and then all the controversy happened that I was just like, nah. So I'm never going to purchase from him again. And then let's move on to actual products. So the first product I wanted to talk about is the Kat Von D Glimmer Palette. Now, this is a all sparkly, I believe it's a 12 pan eyeshadow palette that is basically a sparkly version of her Shade and Light eye contour palette. And I will insert a picture here. And yes, there are probably a lot more products that I could actually talk about that are coming out, but I just really wanted to keep it current. There's not too many other products I'm going to be talking about because I really wanted to talk about specific brands and why I don't want to purchase from them ever again. But I am going to cover just a few products as well. So the reason why I don't think I need this is because, yes, it is beautiful, and maybe after I swatch it, maybe I will want it, because honestly, that's probably the only palette that I am interested in purchasing. Oh, I did want to cover one other product from Too Faced. I'll cover it in a minute. So, I actually am covering a lot of the products that Andrea Mattiliano covered in her haul. I will link her channel below, and I forgot to say the reason why I'm doing this anti-haul video is because I freaking love Kimberly Clark's YouTube channel. I think she's hilarious, and she's the originator of this tag or of this video, so please go check her videos out. She's amazing, and I watch most of her anti-hauls, and I love her channel. She's hilarious, so please go check her out. And the Glimmer, I'm just trying to be a smarter consumer, and I am trying to try out other brands that I wouldn't normally try, rather than just jumping on the bandwagon and buying something that's really popular, because I don't think I've done that in a while. I haven't done that since the Vibe sale. I really have been really good about not purchasing something just because it's popular in the makeup industry. So, I think because since I have the Shade and Light eye contour palette and the Shade and Light contour palette, just the regular one, I know that she's basically running with the fact that it's Shade and Light, and she's been expanding her line a lot about her Shade and Light line. Like, she did expand it with the blushes, and those were kind of a miss with a lot of people, so she reformulated them. But honestly, I really wish she would come out with more blushes again. Like, most of her blushes are only limited edition, and I'm just like, why doesn't she have like a regular line of blushes? Like, I would like her to at least come out with blushes, because Kat Von D's brand I am obsessed with. I always think that she's coming out with different things that it's like, it's always interesting to me, because like, I just love her as a person. Sorry, I do not know why everybody in the universe likes to text me when I am filming YouTube videos. It drives me fucking crazy. So anyway, yes, it does look like a really beautiful eyeshadow palette. And honestly, I am a little bit intrigued on trying it, but it's just the fact that I can get more affordable things online now that I feel like I don't really need it. I might go in and swatch it at some point, but honestly, I missed out on the Kat Von D Lolita eyeshadow palette, little eyeshadow as well because I forgot to go in stores and check it out, and plus I didn't really get to order it online because that was like the week that I was staying at my boyfriend's house, so I kind of forgot. But it's just something that I really don't think I need right now. So the next products I wanted to talk about are the Becca Light Chaser highlighters and glosses, and I will insert a picture right here. And the reason why I wanted to talk about those is that yes, they are really beautiful, and I do like that they are, and I'm sorry I'm not listing the prices of any of these, but I figure you guys are intelligent enough to go look up the prices. Like, you guys know that basically most of these things are the standard prices of most of their products. Yes, I did say that the Kylie Cosmetics are extremely expensive, and I am giving you cheaper alternatives on what to buy rather than spending your money on more expensive products. The reason why I mention these is that I actually do think that Becca Cosmetics are extremely worth the money for the highlighters. Their products are very expensive though for Becca Cosmetics. They're actually like one of the most expensive brands. Like Becca and Cover FX are actually pretty expensive. Like Kat Von D, Too Faced, and Tarte, they're a little bit more affordable. Sometimes, yes, there are some things that are a little more expensive in the line that you wish were a little bit cheaper. But Cover FX and Becca are like those like middle road type of price range brands, is that they're not high, like extremely high end, but they're not like the cheaper high end. They're just like those middlemans that it's like it's expensive, but it's not like extremely expensive. Like Becca primers can be like $40. Like they are expensive products. So, but the only highlighters that I think are absolutely worth the price are the Becca highlighters, because you guys know I freaking love the Becca highlighters. I'm not wearing it today. I've been wearing so many different other highlighters recently. But the reason why I'm not going to buy these is because they are, yes, they are dual chrome highlighters, and I do think that that is going to be the trend this summer, are dual chrome highlighters and pastel type of shades, because I do see a bunch of brands coming out with pastel shades like the Anastasia Aurora palette, and there are other brands, but I can't remember exactly which ones, but I know Becca is obviously. And they're like split pans, and they have like a pink and a purple and a yellow with a green shift and stuff like that. And it's like, for me, it's been done before, because since I now have tried out so many different other online brands that have those options available of dual chrome highlighters, that it's like I don't really need it. Since I have the Anastasia Aurora palette, I got the Lime Crime palette, I also got these newer highlighters from another brand. It's like I don't need it, you know? And I'm not going to spend that much money on it, because yes, you do get 2 shades for the price of one of their highlighters, which are like $38, which yes, they are expensive, but again, I do think that they're worth it. I just think that I can get them elsewhere, that I can find dupes for them, and it's not going to be like a big deal. Maybe when I swatch them, I'll be like, ooh, these are beautiful, but I'm not going to go out and buy them like right away because they are expensive. So, and then the other thing I wanted to mention are the glosses. It's like, you guys know I hate spending more than like $10 on a gloss, because I don't think glosses are really worth more than that, because it's like I would rather spend that on a lipstick and not on a gloss. Oh my god, my neck hurts. Sorry, somebody tagged me in a post and I was just looking at it. So anyway, yeah, not really that interested. I can just go on ColourPop.com and buy a bunch of glosses, like 4 for the price of 1 Becca gloss. Then I'm sure that ColourPop will come out with like a purple shift one at some point, or like colors that are similar, that I don't really need to buy those, because I kicked myself for buying the Marc Jacobs gloss that was like $28, but I wanted it because Jaclyn Hill loved it, and so many other YouTubers were talking about the Marc Jacobs glosses. And basically all the glosses that I've gotten from YouTubers that talked about them, like the Marc Jacobs, the NARS, and the Bite, which are all very expensive. I actually love all of those formulas. So at least that they were worth it to me that way, but I still don't think they're worth it more than like 15 bucks, you know? Like I just don't find the reason why glosses are so expensive because I just don't think it's worth it. So two more products, guys. So the first one is the Urban Decay Jean Basquiat collection. I think it's Jean Basquiat collection. Now, I was originally kind of interested in this collection because I thought that the packaging was really beautiful, and I'll insert a clip right here. But what I thought was a little bit weird is that one, I did buy the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I decided to invest my money in that instead of the Jean Basquiat collection because I kind of just felt like it was colors I've already seen from Urban Decay. Then I was just like, I don't really need it. But when I saw that they were marked down very fast, I was like, oh, maybe I'll like buy one of the products now because it's marked down and it's on sale. But again, there's just like, I buy so many Urban Decay palettes to begin with because they're my favorite high-end brands that it's like I really have to be heartless and hesitant on buying a lot of eyeshadow palettes from them because they suck me in a lot and I just freaking love them. Like, before I bought the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, I bought the After Dark palette, which is the first palette I got from them this past year. I got it like back during Christmas and I've only worn the eyeshadows in that palette like a few times, and it's like, you know, I want to get something that I can wear a lot, and the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette I've been getting a lot of use out of already, so I just want to be more practical, and it's like, do I need these neutrals? Do I need these colors? No, I really don't. There were some beautiful colorful shades in them, and maybe those are colors that I don't have, but at the same time, it's like, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Yes, they were marked down, and I was thinking about buying the blush palette with the highlighter, but I'm like, no, I just don't need it. Like, I was really only drawn to the highlighter, and yes, I loved the blushes too. But the fact that is that I have about 6 or 7, I have 5 single Urban Decay blushes already in my collection, and I have the blush palette from Gwen Stefani. That is, I'm like, I don't need another blush palette from them. I have like 10 blushes from them already. Why do I need another one for? I only have one of their highlighters though, and that's why I was kind of intrigued on getting it, but it's like, really, am I going to get it for one highlighter? So I just decided not to get it. So then the last thing I wanted to talk about is the Tarte Unicorn line, and I did mention Tarte originally in the beginning, and I will insert a clip right here. And yes, unicorns are for some reason the big trend in makeup recently. And now for the summertime, it is going to be mermaids. And I did pick up the Lime Crime Mermaid palette. And that is a highlighting palette. And that's why I said that, like, I feel like duochrome and blue and purple kind of highlighters are going to be very big in the summertime because they are also releasing their own version, and they released it a couple days ago. So that's why I wanted to pick it up because I love Lime Crime and I just really wanted to try it out. But with the Tarte Unicorn line, I was interested in most of the products, and I did hear a lot of great reviews about them, that people really did like the collection, but I would rather invest my money in the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea line. That's basically the only things that I have been purchasing from Tarte recently is stuff from their Tarte Rainforest of the Sea line. I did get the Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2 palette. I got the one of the Color Splash lipsticks, and I got the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea concealer, and I love all 3 of those products. I'm obsessed with them. That I do think that the Rainforest of the Sea line is a solid, great line, and a lot of people like say a lot of positive feedback about that line, that that's like their favorite line from Tarte, and they have an amazing collection. That I just wasn't really interested in that, in the unicorn line. Yes, it was very pretty, and I did swatch the palette, and it was beautiful, but again, I just don't need it. And the same thing with the rainbow highlighter. The fact that I had very bad experiences with the single highlighter from Tarte, I was just like, no, I'm not buying a single highlighter from them again. For some reason, their Amazonian clay one in the actual eyeshadow palette, the Showstopper clay palette. That highlighter is really beautiful. And also their Rainforest of the Sea highlighters are gorgeous in both of those palettes. I love them. That for some reason I just don't like their single ones. I've heard that the sparkle one's not that good. I also heard the newer one's not that good. Even from YouTubers, they didn't like them. So, Kathleen Light said that she didn't like the sparkler one, and there was like another new shade. I think it's called Bedazzle. She didn't like that one either. So it's like, I'm not going to waste my money on them. If I didn't like the exposed highlighter and Kathleen Lights didn't like that one, I'm not going to get them. So, and what also surprised me is that the collection went on sale very quickly. It went on sale basically the same time as the Jean Basquiat collection went on sale. And I thought that was just because that was a limited edition artist collection, and that's why that was going on sale for the Urban Decay one. With the unicorn one, I was really surprised that it went on sale like so quickly. I thought it was only out for a month, and then it went on sale. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's so weird. Then I'm just like, are they just trying to get rid of it just to come out with their fall stuff already? So I guess they're just, Tarte is like constantly bringing out new products now that I feel like I can't really keep up with them sometimes. They like bring out products just as fast as ColourPop now, and I feel like the reason why Tarte and Too Faced are coming out with products a lot more frequently now is because I feel like they're maybe trying to compete with these online brands that come out with products all the time, because ColourPop comes out with new products like they are going out of style, and I've also been seeing that Line Crime is coming out with a lot more newer products very frequently, and I feel like these brands are really trying to compete with each other just to get you to keep on buying from them, which I understand. And it is a selling tactic because, with makeup, people just want to know what's new that's coming out. Like, they already know what their favorites are and they want to see something new. So, or maybe like something that people don't like when you revamp something that they love. They want to see that's something new and something that's different. Okay, and the next palette I wanted to touch on is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. I keep on like being on the fence with this palette, and this was the latest palette that just got released, I believe, on Ulta today, and it got released like a couple of days ago on AnastasiaBeverlyHills.com. It is already sold out on AnastasiaBeverlyHills.com. But I've been seeing like a lot of reviews of this palette. Some people love it and some people hate it. Some people are like really like opposite ends of the spectrum with this palette. For me, I'm like really on the fence about buying it or not. I don't think I'm going to because for me, I was a very late bloomer to Anastasia Beverly Hills. I wasn't really interested in her products for a long time, and then I started by buying, I believe, her liquid lipstick in Pure Hollywood, and I didn't like it. And then I decided to give her another shot by purchasing some of her single shadows, and I fell in love with those. And then I also gave her a shot by purchasing her, actually, I think I got her Anastasia Illuminators first, like the Starlight and So Hollywood, and then I got her glow kits, and then I got her singles, and I was like, wow, her powder products are amazing. And then, of course, I absolutely fell in love with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. That's my Desert Island palette. I freaking am in love with that palette. It's amazing. The only thing about that palette is that I wish that were, actually, it's the same thing with this palette. I wish there were more shimmer shade options in both of these palettes because these are both her permanent eyeshadow palettes now, because before this she never made them permanent. She would always make them limited edition. I don't know why she didn't make the Master by Mario palette permanent, or maybe bring it back one more time, because it's like that's the one palette I really regret not getting my hands on, because that would have been like my second palette for from Anastasia Beverly Hills. But the Modern Renaissance palette, like I said, there's only 2 lid shades in here, and it's the same thing with this one. And I feel like they could have probably done away with maybe a couple of these shades in this palette. Like we have Cube, which is a matte white. We have Dawn, which is a like the reason why I'm really giving a rundown of these 2 palettes is because I was very interested in them originally, especially the subculture one, so I want to go through every shade. Dawn is like a light creamy brown shade. Then we have Destiny, which is a matte forest green shade, like a light green. And then we have Adorn, which is a beautiful shimmery brown. Then we have All Star, which is a matte cool tone red and like a burgundy shade. Not really. It's a cool tone red. Mercury, which is a matte gray, and then we have Access, which is a matte teal shade. And for one, I feel like there's just too many green shades in this palette already. That's what the thing that was kind of turning me off. I was like, I wish that they would have put like something different besides like 3 green shades. Like they probably could have done away with that Destiny shade, and they probably could have put in like a different color, like maybe a matte blue would have been cool. But I know that they were running with like the outer packaging theme, and that's why they were doing that. Because the outer packaging is green, and I get that. Then the Roxy shade is a really pretty medium toned peach shade, but I think it's kind of like just thrown in there randomly. I know that there is a color story here, and I do like it, but like the more I look at it, the more pretty it is. And I know that they're going to be super pigmented, but it's just not my cup of tea. I know I wouldn't probably get a lot of use out of this palette at all. Electric is a matte green dual chrome shift shade, which again is probably the one I'm the most interested in swatching at least. I heard that shade is beautiful. And then Fudge is one of her permanent shades that she put into this palette. It's like a beautiful warm tone matte brown shade. And then New Wave is a matte orangey, like light orange shade. It's not like an intense orange. And then Untamed is a like medium tone green shade, a matte green. And then Edge is kind of a mustardy yellow shade. And then Rowdy is a darker toned grayish brown shade. And it's a matte shade. So for me, I just don't know like how many looks I would be able to create with this palette. But again, I've seen a lot of beautiful looks online, and I kind of like got convinced to get it by this one tutorial that I was watching, but at the same time, it's like I really don't need it. Again, I have so many eyeshadows that I really have been trying to cut down on my eyeshadow palettes and spending money on eyeshadow palettes, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I need it, but at the same time, I really don't. For me, I'm just really going to have to swatch this in store to determine whether I want it or not. Most likely, I'm not going to get it because I love the Modern Renaissance palette so much, and that just works better for me. I don't really wear a lot of these colors on a regular basis. I wear more of like warmer toned eyeshadows. Again, I understand the concept she was coming from, and this palette makes a lot of sense to me. As opposed to Too Faced, because Anastasia really puts a lot of thought into her palettes, and she's just a great brand overall. I think that she's a wonderful person. I've heard that she's a wonderful person, and I really think that she works really hard on her brand to make it the best that it can be. So I know that this palette is going to be super popular. It already is. It's already like been buzzed about for the past couple of weeks. I'm really looking forward to see what's next from her. I've heard that she's working on a primer, and I would love for her to come out with a liquid foundation or something like that. That's what I want to see from her. And I'm really excited that she came out with the regular matte lipsticks. I'm actually going to purchase those at some point. So those are something that I am going to buy at some point when I have money. But for now, I'm going to hold off on this eyeshadow palette. And so yeah, that is pretty much it, you guys. I hope you guys liked this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at CW819, and my Twitter is PokerFace819, and my Snapchat is PokerFace819. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you want me to cover anything else, or if I missed anything in this video, or something that you don't like and you won't buy from anymore. Please let me know. I would love to know your thoughts. Thanks, guys. Bye.